and 70% of the population live under $2 a day. So you can imagine what our day's like when we're trying to roll out mobile money. There is very little banking infrastructure in Afghanistan. There are 17 banks, 34 ATMs, and in my presentation I will shortly show you what a bank looks like. So, up at the top, you see our customer. This is our customer at the base of the pyramid, living on the street. Their home is that tent, but they do have access to a mobile phone. To the right at the top, you see our middle tier customer. This is a customer that has a solid roof over their head, although the walls have bullet holes and there are no facilities. At the bottom, this is our daily harsh reality. And if we're going to get our soldiers back, I propose to any naysayer here that mobile money might be one solution. On the bottom right-hand side, you see what our day is like. Most days are business as usual, but at any time, there can be a boom and it can disrupt everything. This is our future. These are the children that we would like to get technically savvy and banked. And the females are the people that we would like to include in our financial system. Next slide. The police force forms the bedrock foundation of a society. If you can trust the policemen and they can police your society and they're not shaking you down for bribes, that forms the basis of building a proper civil society. In Afghanistan, 59% of the population complain that corruption and bribery is a bigger problem than jobs and security. 23% of the GDP last year was given away in bribes. So what happens when a police officer gets his money in full, can support his family, can send his children to school and put food on the table? Will he value his job? That's the question to ask. These are banks. This is a high-end bank. This is more of a smaller city bank. And the alternative to mobile money in Afghanistan is cash. So is cash in a container more secure than cash in a mobile phone? Next slide, please. I'll just highlight that mobile penetration is 30%. 97% of the population is unbanked. There is a Hawala system, which is an informal system, and it is trusted, but it's too expensive for the very poor at the base of the pyramid. Let's go on. What do we do at the moment? We have launched M-Pesa just under 2 years ago. We, at the moment, can pay salaries. We do loan disbursements and repayments. We can do buy airtime. We can do peer-to-peer transfers, and we have some limited merchant payment. The blue circle on the outside represents what we would like to do and what will happen over the next 2 years. We would like primarily to integrate the bank so the customer can move their account from the bank to their mobile wallet and back, incorporate international remittance and more merchant payment. Next slide. I'm going to share 2 case studies. We did salary disbursement for corporations, for the police, and for NGOs. And what this meant was that no longer did you have to carry safes of cash to your office, have all your employees line up and count out all the money and let them leave, so that when they walked out the door, they got shaken up by whoever wanted to shake them up for an extra AFA or 2. When we went to pay the police through the Ministry of Interior with mobile money, what we found is that there were some challenges. There were training issues that we had to get over. We had to put in an IVR system, which is a voice recognition system, because they couldn't read. So they actually get a text which turns into voice and tells them that they've got paid. But what we found was that police officers actually were happy and could receive the money and were able to learn how to receive money. I'm just going to share with you on the next slide the results. What it led to was transparency. We didn't know this, but 10 or 15% of the money that's dispersed through salaries to police were ghost accounts. These are accounts of people that don't actually exist. We found that police officers were phoning our call center to say, thank you for the pay rise. I got a 30% pay rise. So that's an interesting thought. Then they could transfer money to their families now because Roshan, the largest network operator and the only provider of mobile money, has thousands of points of sale. For M-Pesa itself, at the moment, there are 500 points of access. This means that a police officer does not have to leave and travel home, get stuck because of security and not return, or just decide not to return. And once this police officer has received his full salary, he'll never be shortchanged again. We have calls today from other districts where police officers say, when are we getting M-Pesa? However, the downside is that the middle people in the chain, we're disrupting their food chain. And so they are, of course, fighting back with restrictions to the spread of mobile money. Microfinance is another example. What I want to point out here is that cell phone banking is about 6 times cheaper to the user, which means it's more accessible to the poor person at the base of the pyramid. It's also informal. And as Carol had rightly pointed out, when you've learnt to buy your airtime, manage it on your mobile phone, be able to audit it, to take that step, to convert that to money is a small step. But to take the step to walk in to a bank, which is typically only in the major cities and towns, is a very different step. And so we believe in Afghanistan that it's a two-stepped approach. If we go to the people with a trusted system that they know and make them take one little leap, then we can get bank integration, which we need and we want to be part of, because as a cellular company, we are not in the business of taking deposits and paying interest. We're in the business of transmitting money quicker and faster so that it's more effective for the people at the base of the pyramid. We want to help increase the reach rurally, which, if you wait for bricks and mortar to go out, will take too long. Next step. I'm going to share the Hope for Life, the bottom example. This is an NGO that operates out of Kabul. It doesn't have money to expand rurally, and so it disperses its loans now using M-Pesa. It provides small loans to women. 54% of them are female. The loan officers can be women now because they don't have to worry about carrying cash. They save 4 hours a day from having to go and collect and disperse cash. And also, it stops a lot of fraudulent activity, because if I know the borrower and he happens to be my uncle and he hasn't got his repayment, but the next customer has, if I'm physically collecting cash, I can fix the books. But when the cash is being transferred electronically, number to number, I can't do that. Next slide. This shows you the increase in the uptake of microfinance loan officers in just 3 months. It grew from 1 to 18 in just 3 months. Next. So again, for the customer, anywhere at any time, safety and security, the cost is low. They don't have to close their shop or their business to go to the bank to pay the loan back, and it saves time. And of course, for the bank, it provides them reach and expansion, transparency, and reduces fraud. A lot of people misunderstand, I think, about mobile money, and they talk about regulation. Well, to get a mobile SIM card, you have to provide some form of ID, you have to have a picture taken, your thumbprint taken, and you have to give some form of address, although that address may be the white building next door to house number 8 at Pule Mahmood roundabout, Shashtarak, which doesn't have a postcode. But you do have to do that. And then when you get an M-Pesa account, which is the mobile banking account, you have to do the same again. And each time you conduct a transaction where you withdraw money or you deposit money in, you have to show your ID. So this is monitored. We are regulated by the Afghan Bank. There is a limited mobile money law now in Afghanistan, and we provide reporting to the central bank. Last slide. These are the challenges: illiteracy, the tools, IVR, voice recognition, ensuring all the partners can get on the table together, like Carol said, and making sure that the developed world can understand that the model required for an emerging market may be different. It may be a two-step approach, and the banking approach is not always the correct approach. Last slide. So looking forward, we propose that mobile money could help with corruption, with moving money rurally, and stimulating the economy for the base of the pyramid. Thank you.
Call on Monica, and she is going to share with us her experiences with Axion International. Thank you.
Thank you very much.